Good morrow, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for another Blue Bobo's Tales. Today's tale is how Bear lost his tail. A long time ago, back when tigers used to smoke, Bear had a beautiful, long, furry tail. He would lay it out behind him and refuse to move it out of the way. Any other animals that would pass, he'd ask, "Don't you think my tail is the most beautiful you've ever seen? Much prettier than yours, wouldn't you agree?" The other animals thought Bear was very vain, but they were frightened by his big claws and didn't want to make him angry. So they agreed that his tail was the most beautiful tail they had ever seen. One cold winter's day, Bear went lumbering down to the lake. There, Fox was sitting on the frozen water, surrounded by fish. "Hello, Brother Fox," Bear said, his mouth watering and his stomach growling. "Where did you get all those fish?" Fox knew Bear was hungry, and being a bit of a trickster, decided to teach him a lesson. "I caught them," said Fox, pointing to a hole in the ice. Bear looked confused and said, "But you don't have anything to fish with." "I used my tail," said Fox. Bear was amazed by this. "You used your tail?" he shouted. "Sure. It's the best thing for catching fish. Shall I show you how? Then you'll have as many fish as you want to eat." "Yes," said Bear. "With my beautiful tail, I'm sure I will catch more fish than you." Fox pointed to the hole in the ice. "There's no fish left in there. Let's go to another part of the lake where there's more." Trying not to laugh, Fox led Bear to a shallow part of the lake and instructed Bear to dig a hole there with his huge claws. "Now, sit your back to the hole and drop your beautiful tail into the water. You'll feel when a fish bites. Then you can pull your tail out of the water with the fish on the end of it." Bear really wanted the fish and knew that his beautiful tail would catch many more fish than Fox's little red tail. "Now," said Fox, "this is important. You must sit very, very still and only think about fish. Pretend to count the fish that you will catch with your tail. The more you count, the more fish you will catch." Bear scratched himself with pleasure. "My tail will catch more fish than any other." "Sit still," said Fox. "I'll watch from those trees so I don't scare the fish." Bear hunkered down and sat very still and thought about fish jumping onto his beautiful tail. He counted each one until he fell asleep. The night was very cold and it started to snow. Fox went back to his house, taking his fish with him and chuckling to himself. The next morning, Fox came back to the lake. Bear was still asleep and snoring, his black fur coat white with snow. Fox laughed so much he fell over on his back with his legs up in the air. When he stopped laughing, he quietly snuck up to Bear. "Bear! Bear! I can see a fish on your tail! Can you feel it?" Bear woke up with a fright, and as he jumped up, he felt a sharp crack of pain in his frozen tail. "I can feel it!" he shouted. He leaped up, but his frozen tail had snapped off. All that was left was a small stump where his long, beautiful tail had been. "My tail! My beautiful tail!" he wailed. Fox the trickster ran away laughing. And that's why bears now have short tails. And if you ever hear Bear groaning and moaning for what appears to be no reason in the forest, it's because he's remembering his black, beautiful tail. And that's also why you will never see Fox and Bear having lunch together, because Fox knows he will be lunch. Thank you once again for joining me for this tale. I look forward to seeing you again.